Hello. We're all up. Hide them. Hey, welcome to Chris Betts Versus. I'm Chris Betts. If you haven't seen the show before, this is the internet's only comedy, debate, game show, live streamed podcast. Yeah. I am Hey, Baldy, welcome to the stream. Good to see you, buddy. I am the host and contestant of this game show. Basically, the idea is I will argue the opposite of anything that anyone says. It's a very simple concept. I've said some horrific things over the years. I'm doing this since 2017. And if there is one bad thing that I haven't argued, I'd be surprised to hear about it. So, hey, my wife's on. Hello, sweetheart. Basically, all it is there's 5 rounds where I will debate back and forth with some of my favorite comedians. There's some speed rounds. There's a regrets round, which is my personal favorite round. I've been smoking. That's not COVID. Other than that, I don't think there's too much else to explain. Oh, I always forget about this part. Just because of the nature of the show, sometimes people complain at the end or during because they forget about how this works. So I just want you to know that just because I say a thing doesn't mean I mean that thing. So if I was to tell you that the only roadmap that I want to hear from Boris Johnson is one that shows him driving off a cliff, I only half mean that. That's a 50%er. So don't tweet me, regardless of what I say. With today's opponent, I feel like he's going to box me into a couple corners. It's a real skill he has. So I'm just going to bring them up on the screen straight away. These guys are great. Today we have the judge is Tom Houghton, London-based, fantastic comedian, very upbeat, handsome man. And then we have my opponent, Mr. Dan Muggleton. He's in Australia. It's 8 a.m. for him. And he's beautiful inside and out for being here. So I love him. He looks a little bit like Egon today, but I adore him. Mics, live, faces. Yeah.
Hey.
Hello.
What
Welcome
is with this fucking characterization from you? Like, it's on social media, now it's here. Tom Houghton, handsome, lovely. Daniel Muggleton is here. What the fuck?
Very much leading with the forehead. It's Daniel Muggleton, ladies and gentlemen. Straight in there.
I thought that was a forehead joke. And I was like, fuck you, dude. It's been a hard year, all right? It's receded, as has the British economy, all right? A lot of things have gone backwards this year.
Oh, yeah. Some of them are irreversible. Well, both probably. Sorry,
I'm not
Dan.
this from a man in a hat. Like, let's not start there. I'm not going on that at all.
I wouldn't even wear the hat normally. I wouldn't, but I blend in to the wall behind me so well that I feel like just
yeah. Just the slight, like a bookend for your torso.
That's it. All right, so you guys, Tom, you did the game. The last Edinburgh that I did it. That was your first time.
Last time I played this game was on top of the bus.
Yeah, you were a natural. You took to it so quickly, man. You were all in there. You were questioning people, being tough but fair. Yeah,
I'm a good judge. I'm an honourable guy. I can sort out the crooks and the saints. I think I've got two crooks in front of me today, to be honest. But
excellent plug for his Twitter there, throwing an honorable, very strong. Yeah,
always working.
Yeah, no, a couple of ne'er-do-wells. Too bad, big guy. We'll see how it goes. Dan, this is your first time, but you've seen the show before, right? You came and watched.
I've seen the show. I remember coming down because I like you so much. And then I began watching the show, and I realized that I don't like you more than I hate audiences' opinions. So I was like, well, this is a horrible hour for me. But you were very good at it. And I really feel like you've flanked me here. You've got me on at 8 a.m. And like, I just thought I was doing the Tom role, which is just sitting there and condescending. Like, that was what I thought. And now I'm in trouble. I'm concerned.
No, I've lost a couple in a row, so I thought I'd stack the deck for myself here.
Yeah.
So, no, you're doing. I mean, you've already thrown in some pre-show zingers, so I'm not worried about a goddamn thing. All right, so I say we just get straight into it. You guys ready? Game time?
Sure.
Cool. So, Tom, you remember that you are judging based not on who's right, but who argued best. Very important.
Yes, so, I'm remain objective.
Right.
At all times. At all times.
This is going to be a problem for me. I was just planning on being heaps right, but arguing poorly.
I've had people be like, "But murder's wrong." I'm like, "Not enough." All right, we're gonna start with the first round. So, Dan, I think you brought a topic today for me to argue. What do you got?
Yes, that people die from the coronavirus disproportionately because they're ugly.
Okay, I can do that. All right, let's start with the obvious ones. Old people. When was the last time you saw an old people and went, nice? What, Blanche from the Golden Girls? Was that the last time? That never happens. It's clearly not affecting. I mean, who got it and was unaffected, basically? Tom Hanks. Beautiful. Inside and out. Can't be hurt. People in their 20s. Stunning. Untouchable. All of them across the board. That's why none of them die.
Yeah.
It's about relative hotness.
Relative hotness, as in like wealth hotness. Are we going with that? Are we doing some incest jokes? No? Do I interrupt you or not? I don't know. What's my role? Yeah. Oh, okay. This is normal. Sorry. I thought I was just being a real cunt. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
No,
we'll go the other way.
Jump in. Go get it. I'm sure. I took an accidental 3-hour nap right before the show. So we're both at about a sleepy place.
So, Chris, are you trying to say that so old, obese, and vulnerable people are all ugly? Is that
only the ones that die? A lot of them have survived, and if you've taken a look at them, they're pretty hot. Captain Tom, not a looker.
I bet he's got his end away a bit. I bet he's done a few walks of shame.
Well, maybe when he was younger and he was in the military and he was out there swinging it, but in the end, if you saw him doing those laps, it was like, oh Jesus, come on! I don't want to see this guy twerking. Get out of here! It's pretty clear that like no famous people have died from it, no models have died from it, no TikTok stars have died from it. It's all been people that we wouldn't want to look at in the first place. Name one face that you miss from COVID.
I thought one celebrity got it, but I can't remember who it was.
They got it, but they didn't die from it. They didn't die.
Mm-mm. Is Tom Hanks hot though? Like that seems to be a big part of your argument. That like, look at how hot Tom Hanks is.
Of course, Tom Hanks is hot. He was hot in the opening scenes of Big when he was a kid that wasn't even him. That's how hot Tom Hanks is.
Even when it wasn't him as a child, it was still hot.
Just the idea of tangential Hanks.
I didn't realize that's how people were watching Forrest Gump, being like, man, this hottie has an easy life.
Yeah, that was, I mean, why else do you think he got away with everything? Because he was just so sexy that people were like, hell yeah, you can meet the president. Get in here.
Yeah.
Man, you are dumb, but you are sexy. Let's go shrimp.
Yeah. That is the perfect life, by the way. That's all I want out of life is to be dumb and hot.
I mean, isn't Tom Hanks so hot he banged someone in a cinema and got AIDS? That's how hot he is. He just raw dogged in a cinema with a stranger.
And we still
you
rooted
gotta have
for
some
him.
Seriously.
We were on his side. Pee Wee Herman lost his whole career over just doing it to himself because he's an ugly fuck, Paul Rubens. But Tom Hanks is so hot. He fucked in a movie theater, got AIDS, and we're like, get him, Tom. Go on. Nobody watches the credits anyway. Good for you.
I see what you mean about this being a wholesome show, Chris.
Yes.
I just thought something like he raw dogged in a cinema, and I'm like, I'd be more concerned if someone used a condom in a cinema. Because that's like a conflict in your personality. It's like, yeah, I'm fucking in the cinema, but I want to be safe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I plan ahead, but not that far ahead. What do you got? Baldy's asking, Herman Cain, hot or not? Has Herman Cain died from it? Not. Clearly. Can you even picture Herman Cain in your face right now? Has he made any kind of impact on your junk?
Herman, yeah. Herman Cain, he sounds like a Sleepy Hollow character to me.
He was sleepy and hollow, so fair enough. Dan, why do you think that it doesn't target ugly people first?
Well, I mean, I didn't realize I'd have to argue the opposing side. I thought you missed like a clear one. Is that like there's a disproportionate number of dead English people, which I think lines up with the ugly people die right out the gate.
That's for my side.
Americans, it's killed so many Americans, and I'm here to say it. Americans are hot. Like, by and large, that's like their one quality. They are dumb and hot. They're a bunch of Forrest Gumps who weren't in the right place at the right time. But down they go. Like, and some, I'm going to put it out there. Some old people are hot. Come on. You've seen them. No, I can't name names. I'm too shy to approach these beautiful old hotties. They're just quietly doing their crossword in the pub alone because their partner has passed on. What's hotter than a widow? I think desperation is beautiful because I just assume the loneliness will mean the level of game I need to bring to fuck them is pretty much nothing. So I see those oldies and I'm like, that's hot. That's loneliness.
You're not talking about hotness. You're talking about a synchronization of desires. That's not the same. That's coincidence and usefulness, as opposed to just like, oh, I would do anything to be with this person. What you're saying is, I don't have to do anything to be with this person. That's very
You're
different.
absolutely right.
I feel like Dan doesn't see a ventilator. He sees an opportunity.
That's true. I'm like,
Let me breathe life into you.
They need oxygen. We should probably kiss. I think that's the way to do it, right? That's the move. Like, I'm just trying to think of some more. Sorry?
Out of interest, have either of you two had COVID?
I mean, look at me.
Either.
You look like you've been in a bunker the whole time. You look like you've played it as the safest of anyone.
You look like you fucked someone in a cinema without a condom.
So you're saying
we're not wrong for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Like that sick bastard.
No COVID. I mean, that's the other, like, Australia, no COVID. I don't know if you've seen Australians. We're rumored to be hot. I don't think we're that hot. You know what I mean? I think there's some ugly Australians who've survived.
But definitely dumb, though. So that adds to it. Oh, by the way, I can hear myself through one of your guys' things. Do you have your computer speakers on by any chance?
Nope. I'm through the headphone.
I think it should be okay.
Okay. Sounds like it's gone. I don't know what changed, but it's gone now, so everything's fine. But Australians, I have no idea what happened, but we're back in it. Baldy's saying, I assumed Larry King was definitely a not. Yep, absolutely. Not hot, dead. What do you want?
Wait, you don't think Larry King is hot?
Larry King is not hot. He looks like someone that crawled out of, like, you know those things that live in snail shells after they die? He reminded me of that.
Look, I don't know how you can say someone with a sweet, curvy spine isn't hot. Think of the sexual positions open to you with that sweet scoliosis boy.
Basically, it's just him blowing himself. That's the only thing. He provides an infinity loop of sex that you can't get in on.
You don't need to do any of that, like, pillow under the person to, like, perfect the angle. His spine just does it for you. It's awesome. I forgot that Larry King died. So many people have died.
So many people have died. I mean, it's not exactly 2018 here, but Bell says Larry King, the Ron Jeremy of news. Yeah, correct. There's been no cited cases of even like hot old people aren't dying. Like Helen Mirren is still going. She's strong.
But
the one hot old person. Cher's fine.
Okay?
She's tweeting up a storm. She was trying to volunteer to work at the post office a few months ago.
Was she?
Yeah, because when it was the whole mail-in voting thing, she was like, "Get me a job at the post office," which I would have loved to have seen.
But then she's not hot anymore. You can't be hot and work at the post office. It's impossible. You can't do those two things simultaneously because it's too attractive to think of her licking a stamp. You know, she must be ugly now.
That's why they didn't hire her. It was a conflict of interest.
Tough.
Too hot. Too hot.
There's got to be a hot person who's been claimed by COVID. What about? There's been a bunch of like Republican like, you know, anti-vaxxers who've died. Some of them must be pretty hot, you know? It's
just
kind of
dumb.
weird Christian hot where you're like, oh man, every time we have sex, it's going to result in a baby. That's so fucking hot.
That's again, that's not them. That's you're finding a lot of like ancillary hotness. It's all around the edges. It's never the person. So
What? Just because I'm not like shallow like you two, like I just see a complete person. I don't just look at their face. Like when I think Tom's hot for reasons other than his beautiful, noble head, you know?
Thanks.
name them. Give Tom more compliments.
Please give the judge more compliments.
I think Tom's hot because he is the judge and he will decide who argues best. I find the possibility of someone anointing me victorious very hot. I love that.
Again, self-interest. That's what you find hot is your own self-interest.
Chris, I think we can narrow it down even more than that. What I find hot is myself. I'm into it. I'm into
and you're not dead. Case in point. There we go.
Ah, damn it. That is a problem. I don't think I can dig out from that hole. Then I'm going to argue that I'm ugly, and I refuse to do that even for a point.
Fair enough. All right, we'll call that round there. Tom, what are you saying?
I mean, I've enjoyed listening to both sides very much. I mean, I think the facts do speak very much in Chris's favor. It does seem to be a lot of overwhelming amount of munters being led to an early grave. And that's how we shall remember those who have passed on as the ugly ones. What a lovely way to start the show.
So that's me. Cunt on the inside, munt on the outside.
2020, the year the world got hotter on average.
No one talks about the benefits of this.
If there's one thing that has lasted its standards. But then, of course, Daniel Muggleton came in with some very graphic imagery of a curved spine and a desperate woman. And I've got to be honest, in these hard-pressing lockdown times, I've been feeling more desperate than anyone. And so those words really spoke to me. And I feel like therefore, just for the imagery and just tapping and pulling at my heartstrings with the desperation, I'm going to give it to Daniel Muggleton.
What a fucking outrage.
Yes. No, it's hot air horns because you can air horn yourself. That's
Jesus.
it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's feelings, not facts that triumph.
What an outrage. That is absurd. I'm furious right now. I'm furious.
If I won that, imagine what I'm capable of when it's 8:30 a.m. here. You know what I mean? You're in trouble, kid.
By the end of the show, you're just going to be rinsing me. God damn it. Hey, Poppy, welcome to the stream. Baldy's giving me a Hans Mole Man. That's a guy that survived because he's hot as fuck. He's know that when The Simpsons covers COVID.
I wish I was that football that hit him in the groin. You know what I mean? Hot.
Just to feel his warmth. All right, we're going to move on to the first speed round then. So the way this works is we put 2 minutes on the clock. Dan, you and I go head to head. Just a quick sort of first thought about the topic, and then we move on to the next one. Get as many in as we can in 2 minutes.
Sure.
Tom, you've got the list there.
So I'm just saying the word that's in front of me. I don't say who's arguing for or against it. You just
no. Yeah, that's right. But before we do, Tom, Dan, do you want to be for or against everything that Tom says?
I would like to be for. I'm known as a very positive person, so I think that is how I'll utilize my strength here.
Cool. All right. So you're for. I'm against everything. I got 2 minutes on the clock here. Tom, go for it.
Yes. Okay. Your first topic is storytelling.
Dan.
Storytelling is really good because it allows you. It allows people to understand the really interesting aspects of your definitely interesting life. I don't even think you should edit it. I reckon you should just get up there into a microphone, preferably recorded so you can release it later and just let people know your story because you are special. Your dad was wrong.
Okay, so storytelling is, if storytelling was so good, then why aren't there storytelling clubs everywhere? People want to hear jokes. They want to hear about dicks. That's all they want. If the Moth Club would have usurped us years ago, if storytelling was worth a damn. Next.
Now, do I decide a winner or do I just get
Yeah. Just keep going. You do decide a winner, but give us the points at the end.
The Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome. The Thunderdome. The Dome of Thunder. I mean, just based on name alone, you don't even need to know what happens in the Thunderdome. I'm going to speak with such an exciting combination of terms. The rumble of thunder, the circular roof of a dome. What more do you want? The Thunderdome.
Fuck the Thunderdome. The Thunderdome is used by idiots who are trying to intimidate you. They say things like, "Welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch." And I know that all I'm about to do is get too close to you and get your fucking body spray on me. Next.
The next subject is, well done, everyone, dog fights.
Dog fights. Yeah. Oh, I mean, like
fighting with dogs.
I think dog fights are great because if Michael Vick had paid full attention to playing the NFL, he would have just been too good. It wouldn't have been fair anymore. It was only fair on the other slow white quarterbacks that he spent a lot of his time fighting dogs. Otherwise, there would have been no parity across the competition, and Atlanta would have won, which nobody really wants if they're honest in their hearts. Next.
Dog fighting is bad. What I would like to see is dog debate. Dog jello wrestling. I want to see. It lacks creativity. We always go straight to violence. Let's move on. Let's evolve. That's the end of the speed round. Good work, Dan. 8 a.m, all over it. You've clearly never heard of a Thunderdome.
No. Well, look, funny thing.
To another edition of Thunderdome.
I got the fucking sound cue, but I don't know what it is.
That's Tina Turner in Mad Max. I can't remember which one, but one of the Mad Max films.
Why did you wait until after the round to do that sound effect? That would have been the best.
I didn't want to cheat. I wanted to beat Chris on his merit.
Good man. So honorable. You get honorable in your title now.
Yeah.
Tom, you're out.
You
Dan's in.
Honorable Dan. Sorry.
And I enjoyed all those topics very much. My favorite bit of debating was Dan's opening to storytelling is good, which I think is just some of the most intellectually precise arguments I've ever heard. But for the very fact that you didn't use your sound effects during the game, I'm going to give it to Chris.
Yes. Well, actually, sorry, I should have explained this beforehand. It's 1 point per argument, so there's 3 up for grabs.
Okay. Storytelling goes to Dan because he said it was good, and I think that is just such a solid argument. The Thunderdome goes to Chris because Dan did not use the sound effect and didn't know what a Thunderdome was.
I think I explained it pretty clearly.
Ooh. And dog fighting, I'm going to give it. Well, I said Chris was going to be the overall winner, so I'm going to give it to Chris as the third one, so he wins 2 out of 3.
A man who honors his word.
I argue that if you know anything about the NFL, my dogfighting argument was fucking good out of the gate. It was
great. That was great.
I vaguely knew that reference.
Yeah. If you knew it clearly, you'd be like, "Yeah, fuck, that's pretty fun." That's okay. I'm going to get some North American fans.
Dan,
I don't know. Maybe they just like dogs.
If you just said dog fighting is good, I'd have been with you.
Well, I think I know the old next speed round. I'm going to use another G word. Great.
I'm afraid this guy's for everything in the next speed round. So look forward to that. But if I can give a recommendation, you can go with dogfighting as bad, and I feel like Tom will give it to you that way too. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the second round. Right now, we're tied 2 points to 2 because Dan, you got the point in the first round, and then I just won 2-1 in that one.
Wait, the speed round is worth the same as the first round.
Yeah, that's right. That way you can it oscillates. It jumps all over the place.
Is this your first time with points? This is absurd.
It's the only way to do it. It makes absolute sense.
This is chaos.
All right, so we're going to go on to the regrets round now. The way the regrets round works is Dan is going to tell me something that he regrets about his life, and I'm going to tell him why it's the best thing he's ever done. Or he's going to tell me something he's proud of, and I'm going to tell him why he's a piece of shit for thinking that. So, Dan, unburden yourself.
See, I've been thinking about this a lot because I'm self-involved and I'm like, wait, a question about me. Tell me more. All right, here we go. Here we go. Bit of fun. I went to law school, and that is the biggest regret. I finished. I actually stuck it out. I've got 2 degrees. Complete waste of time because I do this now. Professional tracksuit wearer. Chris Betts. Go for it.
Did you ever practice, or did you go straight from getting your degree into never practicing law, working as a lawyer in any way?
Never worked in it. I went straight from law school to running a pub trivia company. Showbiz.
What about why did you go into law in the first place? What drew you to it?
Because I thought that Boston legal was pretty good, and medicine you had to keep doing tests, and I was like, that sounds lame as fuck. So I was like, let's go law.
Sorry, what was the other one? I missed that.
Medicine. I went to a lecture day. I went to a day where other people whose parents had enough money to convince them to do or not do medicine, like a little bit extra, where they explained to you what being a doctor is like. I went with my best friend, and he was like, this sounds great. And he's now a doctor. And I was like, this sounds dumb. And I'm now arguing at 8:27 a.m.
First of all, I would argue that it was your law preparation that made you so good at this game already. That Michael Vick stuff doesn't just come to anybody. That's a practiced debater.
Certainly not Michael Vick. I mean, that guy went to prison. He can't argue for shit.
Yeah, he needed a lawyer like you, but here you were, not being old enough to be involved. Yeah, so you just did it on the lark. You didn't want to be a lawyer. You just needed to do something else. Were you avoiding life? What were you running from? It doesn't sound like you're running towards anything. So what were you running from?
No. Like you don't understand this. Tom will understand this. I went to private school, and when you go to private school, you can't just go into life. Like, that's crazy. You need a tertiary education. So it's
like a buffer zone.
Yeah, like you just need to go there. You need more pieces of paper to prove that you're better than people. It's necessary.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah. I will point out, I have not got a law degree or a medicine degree. I've got a 2-2 in drama.
But you live in a castle, so there's like a balance between them.
True.
So, yeah. So that's exactly why it was the right thing to do, because what you needed at that time, which you just admitted, was that you needed extra things to prove to the outside world that you were worth a damn. Because I'm guessing private school's uber competitive. Is that right? Where does that need come from? Yeah, okay.
Because it's an all boys school and men compete, Chris. That's why there's 3 men on this show. I understand the booking. It makes total sense.
We've had women on, but they just weep and leave.
Enough about law school. Chris,
it's just an hour of them screaming, why can't we all get along? So you needed to prove to the outside world and to yourself that you were worth a damn, and an easy way to do that, well, not easy, but a guaranteed way to do that is through a law degree. And so by the time you'd gotten a law degree, then you'd proved it, and then you could become whatever the fuck I'm seeing right now, this mustachioed Adidas tracksuit wearing comedian who is the self-proclaimed king of Zoom comedy.
Thank you.
That's a man who doesn't give a damn what the world thinks about him. He does whatever he wants. He's unique and free, and there's a special power to that. And you wouldn't have had that if you hadn't gone to law school, because you would have forever had that niggling in the back of your mind. And so because you accomplished what you needed to, you freed yourself to live however the hell you wanted. So it was a short-term investment with a huge long-term payoff.
I know that you're saying this to argue the point, but I'm taking this to be your sincere feelings. I mean, like, nice one, Dan. Way to stick it out.
You're killing it, buddy. I'm very proud of you.
So am I supposed to counter this argument now?
Yeah, I mean, unless you find yourself cured, in which case you can give in.
Oh, so there's okay. All right. I tell you. All right. the reason that I'm so self-assured in front of you, Chris, is not because of law school nor philosophy. I have 2 degrees, guys. Count them up. It's because I'm a straight white male. So I'm confident in my abilities regardless of accolade nor experience. That's our great gift. We're just born this way, and no amount of government-funded, subsidized education can change that. No amount of private school paid for by dad, no hugs, you coward, upbringing can change that. This is just au naturel, baby. And and you look at me being like, you're proud of yourself, you were then free to do whatever you want. I disagree. I'm paralyzed by fear. Everything I do is to try and impress you, Chris Betts. No amount of law degrees will ever change that fact. I look at this degree as a waste of 5 years. I could have been worse at other things and learned about the world, but instead I kept getting marks, because at some point in your life, marks are the only type of feedback you're comfortable with, because they're numbers on a piece of paper that you compare to your friends, and they're not correlated to your penis size, because that's a bit gay. You know, it's just the only other numerical.
So that took a weird turn.
You can have I'm just trying to make this thing interesting.
That's the old public school coming back.
I could have easily not done it. And it was a waste of time, and it was a waste of money, and more than that, it was a waste of a spot for someone else. They could have done the degree, because there's like a finite number. So why did I take someone else's slot when I had no intention to practice ever?
If they wanted to go to law school, they could have just murdered you and hidden the body. If they really wanted it bad enough.
But they wouldn't know how to get off, because they hadn't gone to law school yet. You know what I mean? Like they can't do that. That's the next step. That's when you graduate.
They didn't deserve it.
Can I just ask Daniel, just so I know whether or not how disappointing or beneficial this escapade was? What sort of law was it that you studied?
The main one, the one that you study, general.
So just
laws. You don't specialize in law school.
Oh, do you not? Okay.
You do like electives at the end, but they're kind of bullshit. Like I did like copyright or something.
Did you even have any idea what sort of law you would have gone into?
No, it's all so grim. It's like
okay.
It's very funny because like most of my friends end up in corporate, which is like the grimmest. It's just like, would you like to read a 160-page contract for this $1 billion company to buy this $1 billion company? Well, guess what, cunt? You're reading it till 6 a.m. Good luck.
Yeah.
You put sleep pods in the lobby because you should never go home. Never. But like, yeah, it's I never had any interest. It was hilarious, like how early I had no interest, and how I said to my parents, I have no interest, and they're like, we would really like it if you had some kind of safety net. And I'm like, but I don't know anything. Like I learned the notes 3 days before the exams, and that's it. And they're like, look, just please get a piece of paper. We need a piece of paper. Our friends keep asking.
So it sounds to me like you did right by your family. You know, that's so now when they go, well, when they're at their parties with, I assume like flamingos and peacocks surrounding them. That's how I picture people who went to private school. They're surrounded by beautiful fauna.
You're just describing Australia.
Fair enough. So now they can be like, oh, Dan, law degree. Is he using it? No, he was too smart. They wouldn't let him in. There's all kinds of lies that you can use around that. Or he got a law degree and then he had a head injury and now he's a comedian. You've given them a bunch of outs, but it's not their fault anymore. They did what they could. And also, what would you have done with your time if you hadn't gone to law school? How do you picture those 5 years going about?
Well, Chris, I assume I would have done what every self-respecting person in that position would do and make a shitload of money through online poker. Is that not what everyone does, given the opportunity? Ages 18 to 23, just nail some Mountain Dew, play 8 tables at once, and make a fucking nest egg for myself.
Are you good at poker?
No, but I could learn. It's all a system, Chris. You just go online with tutorials. Could have learned about the stock market. Do you guys know that you can make money through other people I'm learning about this now. I'm 31. I'm dead. It's over. Have you seen 70,000 market? I wasted 5 years. I could have had a portfolio at this point.
You would have been homeless. if you hadn't been clearly, like, just by online poker being your backup as a 31-year-old with so much time to have thought of something more responsible to do with it. And you know yourself, I would have played online poker and drank Mountain Dew like a character on South Park. I think that you saved yourself from yourself. You'd be dead. You wouldn't be on this show. You'd be watching music videos on, like, outstanding outside of a grocery store to pass the time. There'd be like just one of those stores with a television display, and you just spend hours watching that because you have nowhere to go, and then traipse back to the woods.
But then I'd have an interesting backstory, and I could then enter stand-up comedy after my years of homelessness, go to the comedy festivals, and then win an award with a storytelling show. Do you understand? I wouldn't have to change anything. I just have to tell my story. I'd be an inspiration to these people, as opposed to a representation that their parents failed and mine succeeded. Do you understand?
How many successful comedians are ex-homeless people versus how many are ex-lawyers?
I haven't actually done the stats on that. I was too busy.
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
0. The closest they got was Rick Shapiro, and he's a maniac. He's a brilliant guy, but he's a maniac. And then lawyers, you got Al Lubell, you, Alice Fraser, my friend Jess Solomon, who's in New York. Others that I can't think of right now. I feel like Ahir Shah, but I feel like that's just the vibe he gives off.
He's got a real lawyer vibe. What do you mean? Well, he's argumentative and condescending. Yeah, it's pretty much it.
He's confident, but he's not white. Yeah, so I would argue even for comedy, doing that helped set you up.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll call that one there.
Yeah.
We'll call it there. Tom, you've heard all the arguments.
It's very, very interesting. It's very nice to hear the Daniel's backstory, of course. I mean, I would personally love for you to have become a lawyer and kept the look, I might add. Because if I had done a murder and was looking for someone to represent me in court, you are exactly what I'd want to be rocking up. Sort of teenage Ned Flanders who works at Shoe Zone. It'd be
my cousin Danny, says Baldy. My cousin Danny.
But what can I say? You didn't do it, and now you've got to exactly where me and Chris have got without going to law school. You've
probably
wasted your,
not this far. You know what I mean?
You're making up new arguments. This is bullshit.
I think. I mean, Dan, you won the round, but not life. What can I say?
It was all worth it.
I tried to help. You were feeling good at the start, but you had to keep arguing, Dan. You could have walked away.
I'm sorry, pal.
If you think someone who went to law school and private school thinks anything is more valuable than winning, you're an idiot. You're crazy.
All right. Here's
I would
me learning.
trade my life in for a win. You know what I mean? She's asleep right now. I'll kill her. Give me the win, Tom. I don't give a fuck. All right? We got to win this thing.
Yeah.
Sacrifices must be made.
That's going to be the pull quote.
It is much like I imagine his law degree. It is 2-1 to Daniel Muggleton.
Hey, was that a mark-based thing? I was actually doing all right till I checked out completely.
In England, we do 2-1s. It's first, seconds, 2-1. No, is that not a? No.
We have first class, second class, third class, and then nothing. In terms
What did you actually get for law school?
Zero honors, baby.
Oh, so you stayed in, but you didn't actually get.
You know, like not many people, like the top 10%, top 20%, top 30%, and then, like top 10
cattle.
You know what I mean? So like the bottom 70 don't get honors.
I have no idea what we do in Canada because I dropped out to do stand-up.
Hey, you dropped out. That's what I mean. Be a man. Drop out. Make your own mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, it was the right thing to do. I was it wouldn't have ended well if I'd stayed. But and now Chris, look at me.
Like this could have helped my argument about 7 minutes ago. Yeah. You know what I mean?
All right, so that's the end of the regrets round. We're going to go into the second speed round.
Mhm.
Tom,
Yes.
please bring back up the list.
I have the list right in front of me, and
Good
kicking.
man.
I'm against. You're
A few
for.
seconds. Yeah, I'm for. You're against.
Okay.
I got two. I got the clock set up now. So 1, 2, 3, speed round.
We're going to go straight in with the homely topic of white extremists.
Dan.
I'm against white extremists.
Yeah.
It's just you can't have a white extremist, because I don't know if you know this. It's a very important tradition after committing a terrorist atrocity to then do a little victory dance, and white people can't dance. Therefore, shouldn't have white extremists.
I'm for white extremists because, as much as I'm into raising up voices of people of color, integral in that is lowering the voices of white people. We need to have equal representation at all scales of humanity. So way to go, white extremists. Next.
Surveys in the street.
Dan.
Oh, I'm starting all of them. Okay. Surveys in the street. They're no good. I don't think they're invasive enough. I'm walking down the street. Maybe I do have time to answer questions about my mobile coverage. I think surveys should be taking place in hospital beds and jails. I think that's probably the only place to appropriately conduct a survey where people are properly constrained and we can finally get to the answers and leave an appropriate amount of feedback.
I love surveys in the streets. I did it briefly when I was 18, and I was so bad at it that a homeless man joined my cause and started pulling people down in the streets. He was yelling at old women, "You help this boy!" And it's because it's such a desperate moment. It makes for fun Disney-like friendships. Next,
having an ugly face.
I mean, how can you not be against having an ugly face? Like the painstaking effort required to develop a personality to then still not overcome your ugly face. I've never seen anyone with an ugly face be successful apart from on British television and then only hosting game shows because you're freakishly tall. Impossible to overcome. You're a write-off. Throw the kid in the lake. Start again. Impossible to overcome an ugly face.
Having an ugly face is great because then you don't suffer from like great dreams of greatness. You just know from the get-go, I'm either going to be super rich and quietly powerful, like a Dick Cheney, Karl Rove sort of situation, or I'm just going to lead a regular life and I don't have to worry about going to law school pointlessly. I don't have to worry about trying to be famous. It's not an option. These are all off the table. You lead a stress-free life. Way to go, Uggos. That's the end of the speed round. That took 3 minutes. Damn. Sadaf, my wife says surveys aren't invasive enough is the most cursed take so far.
Not invasive enough, guys. I don't think so.
Tom, what are you saying?
It was it was very, very, very well argued by both people again. I'm just for personal reasons, I'm very pro white extremists as well. So I'm going to give the points to Chris.
You want to explain those personal reasons?
No, I wouldn't. As your lawyer, probably just leave it vague.
It's just family connections.
Okay, cool. Great. Anyone watching, feel free to do some research on Tom Houghton, see what's going on.
When Tom mentions like white extremists, he thinks Guy Fawkes. That's how far back he's going.
The original and best.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, still the face of the movement. So
Very much.
That's funny.
And what about the other one?
Oh God, it's one each, isn't it? Yes. So surveying the street. I think again because I think I like the fact that actually Chris had done some actual hands-on experience with this situation. He's actually been there. He's got the T-shirt. I think it was a bit of a humble brag, the fact that you got a homeless friend. But I'm going to give it to Chris again. I think well done. He knows. He's a man. He's got his hands dirty.
That's a very, very public school take, is that it's a brag that you know a homeless guy.
I mean, I was just gonna say he got his hands dirty because he spent time with a homeless man. Tom, come on, what are you doing, brother? This is some crazy shit.
And moving swiftly on. Having an ugly face. I think there are no pros to having an ugly face. We all know it's a struggle throughout life, and you are more likely to die of COVID. So I'm giving who was anti-ugly faces? It was Dan. Dan. It was Dan.
Yeah.
Of course. Then my points go to Dan.
All right, so 2-1 for me. That means we're tied going into the final round.
Big.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
So
I do feel like, remember at the start where you were like, it's not about what's right or wrong, it's about who argued best. Tom's like, I think it's about what's right.
Yeah, he definitely like, listen, ugly people have it rough. I'm not gonna stick it to him more. I don't care what was said.
Like, I will be enforcing the status quo. That's what I'm doing.
Hey, I'm leading with my heart.
That is the opposite of a judge, Tom.
You didn't go to law school.
But I feel he is guilty.
I mean, look at him. Just look
at him.
What did the jury say? Fuck them. They're idiots. He's guilty. I don't like it.
He's got dirty hands and he's homeless.
All right, so we're gonna go on to the final round. Oh, you know what? You know what's a fun thing to do when your wife is watching you live stream a show and you've run out of drink? Sweetheart, could you please run me up a beer from the fridge? I'd be forever grateful. Thank you. Tom, you all right?
Imagine if we all got handed a beer, just like all of us, like simultaneously. It's like, fuck, man, the show is sponsored. This is great.
That way, we're working on it. We're working on global outreach. Okay, so I just got canceled by Baldy. Fair enough. So we're gonna go into the final round. The way the judges round works is, Tom, you picked a topic. I don't know what it is. Dan, you don't know what it is. Dan, do you want to be for or against whatever Tom's about to say? You got to look deep into his character to try to guess what kind of angle he's going to go with.
Well, no.
Okay.
So
sweetheart.
this is the logic on this. Tom has awarded points for every topic he's agreed with so far. So what I need to do is figure out whether he's raising a topic because he agrees with it secretly and wants it to justify it for him, or disagrees with it and needs reasons to dislike it. So I'm going to go with 4 because I think 4. Tom's like, I want to hear this thing that I think justified by these hairy professionals. So
fair enough. All right. So what, Tom? What am I against? Oh, also my wife. Oh, sorry. I was going to say my wife not only brought me a beer, but then as she was leaving, she's like, listening to white guys talk is a fucking trip. So.
It's trippy. Well, brace yourself. This is so my topic is there's just been an announcement made that Disney are going to start doing snuff films.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you for this idea or against this idea?
Can you define snuff films real quick, just so we have a common understanding?
It's when you actually film an actual murder.
All right.
An actual murder. Okay.
Yeah. They're actually going to start murdering.
Okay. How long do we have for this? Is it just like
got time.
Statement, I mean, and then
No. This is like a round. So
back and forth.
So we can get into it.
Okay. Well, I think to start things off, obviously I'm for Disney doing snuff films.
Obviously,
I think long overdue. The amount of times I've spent watching films like The Little Mermaid and Mulan and other Disney movies I've definitely remember the names of, and being like, fuck, I wish someone was dead at the end of this, to justify the time I've spent watching it. Like just the fact of some real world consequences. Because the thing is, I would feel nothing if someone in the Disney movies died, because out of all the film studios, they have the highest amount of animated CGI films. So if anyone is going to actually murder their characters in a movie. It should be Disney. It's the safest one. I know you're thinking, but they own Star Wars now. And I'm like, yeah, Mark Hamill should die to protect the legacy of the films. Because now he's on Twitter and it's annoying and he's trying to do zingers and people retweet it. And I'm like, this cunt was supposed to use the Force, not 280 characters at a time. You know what I mean? Like, let's just kill him. Let's just use it. Let's just use it to murder every annoying actor appropriately. We could prevent, like, think about Brandon Crowe. Zero relevance. Zero relevance if that motherfucker's alive now, but dead. So you're like, hey, Brandon Crowe, I know the name, right? And this is why Disney should do it. Out of any studio, either you kill CGI people, no consequence, or you kill Star Wars actors who are ruining it. Think about Carrie Fisher. I'm not 100% sure Walt didn't have that done. You know what I mean? She's too much of a loose cannon. We got to shut her down. We got to do it quick. We got to do it quick. We can't. We've been trying to get her to do it through addiction for years. She got over. We got to intervene. We got to make it happen. Mickey's got to do it with the broomstick, just like fucking. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're looking for. Disney should do snuff films 100%.
See, I think. I mean, you make a lot of good points. There's a lot of actors that need to go. I think it would be pretty amazing if instead of CGI sending someone out into space, they just full on sent Sandra Bullock into space. And that was a wrap. That was just, and then it's just footage from the Mars rover, just watching her go over the skyline. But I think my wife says I was going to be upset at this argument, but I'm on board with the Carrie Fisher murder conspiracy theory. So you've won her over, if nothing else.
Thank you.
So I would say, but here's the problem: is that even though those are interesting points, my problem isn't with the snuff; it's with the Disney element of it. It's a failure on two sides. First of all, Disney has cornered Western culture. They've got Disney, they've got Pixar, they've got Star Wars, Marvel. They just got. I'm sure that they own a bunch of other smaller production companies. If you add murder into that, that's the only thing other studios have left, is just straight up murder and porn. If Universal gets into murder porn, look out, Disney, they're coming for you. But it's unfair market share, and the government needs to get involved. I think that also, like, Disney has already scarred generations of people through deaths in their movies. I don't see why they need to up the game. You've got Mufasa's death. No one ever recovered from that wildebeest trampling. Bambi, are you kidding me? They've already weaponized death in their films enough. I think that it would be repetitive of them, and actually like a regression for them to have to do it for real, since they've done it so imaginatively for years. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
What I say to you, Chris Betts, is imagine if during Bambi, during that fateful scene, you're in the cinema, you're watching, you're like, oh my God, this is tugging the old heartstrings. This is too much. And then at the front of the cinema, they wheel out a deer and just shoot it in the head, in the room. You think you're ever going to eat meat again? Of course you're not. You've been changed.
That meat. I would eat that meat. I would.
You go down and start picking at Bambi's carcass like a hyena in the Lion King. You love it.
Pull the sword off my utility, cut off a flank, walk out of the cinema.
I just think we can achieve so much. And like, one thing you argued is that like the market share, I've got too much market share as it is. I say not enough. Let's add murder to the Disney franchise. Let's weaponize the employees at Disney World. I want those princesses packing Glocks. I want them to be an army. I want Disney World to secede from every country it's in as its own independent nation. And I want them to use the films as the training exercises to become their extremist group. It's been too long since there's been a Jewish extremist group, and it is time for Disney to take that mantle. There hasn't been a Jewish extremist since Jesus. We need to do it. We need to get on board. We need to start fighting. We need to start fighting.
There's no way to more upset famed Nazi sympathizer and Disney founder Walt Disney than for them to be the home of Jewish extremists. I can't think of a more unlikely group to come out of this.
Look, I'm thinking tarnish that legacy. Let's get Mickey doing what he should be doing, making threats. I can't wait. Do you want her to live? Like, that's what we need. We need Disney extremist cells taking over. I want every film to be a Marvel movie. When Harry met Sally Brackets, who turned out to be Wonder Woman. Let's do it. Let's just take it all over. None of this halfway shit. It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
That's what
Disney
comes up
World,
on the screen.
Disney
Disney
World.
It's time. All right, we're gonna call that one there. Tom,
I love both.
that.
I love both the arguments. I mean, the idea of Disney just monopolizing different, just every sort of form of culture and all that we're intaking. I do fear a time in the future where I'll have to have a Disney Plus account to get on Pornhub. That is going to be a genuinely could be a reality. But the idea, I think that I like the idea of the full circle of Walt Disney, the Nazi sympathizer, then finding his dream and his creation being taken over by a Jewish uprising. It would very much be a whole circle of life, and it would just prove that when you wish upon a Star of David, your dreams come true. So for, I also, and so because of that reason, I have to follow my heart, follow my dreams, and give the points to Daniel Muggleton.
Outrageous, but well fought. Good job, Dan. Well done.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's a pleasure being here. I mean, I'm sad none of you really like the real Bambi in the cinema. I think that's fun.
I also very much like the real Bambi in the cinema.
It would be a moment. No more 3D glasses, guys. You just get like Gallagher tarps to protect your clothes from the brain splatter.
This movie is actually in 4D, 3 dimensions of one beer.
And they do it in every single Disney movie, right? So like the first 10 minutes of Up, and then this old woman gets dragged out
or dropped from a height.
Dude, these graphics are so realistic, and you're like, yeah, man, this is great. Like Disney, man. That's a big budget film for you, you know?
Is that Grandma? Well, congratulations, Dan. You won. Well played. Good job.
It's a relief, but it was also to be expected. But it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. It was a joy to argue with you. I'd like to thank Tom for judging based not on the argument's merits, but based on who he liked the most. And it's good to have that reaffirmed, my friendship with Tom, even being all the way over here in Australia. And Chris, I just want you to know you were majestic. You didn't appear to take a side in any argument, but you argued them valiantly. Whereas I feel like a lot of people have watched me and thought that I meant it, which is something I'm going to struggle with.
Well, thanks for coming on, guys. Before we go, is there anything that you want to plug? Anything that people can check out in this world right now?
No, I will say thank you very much, Chris, for having me on as well. It's very, very kind, and thank you and good to see you again, Daniel. Again, us public school boys have to stick together. It was well dropped in at the start. We know how we know how this hierarchy stuff works. I think if you want to just follow me on my handle at Honourable Tom, and all my stuff will be on there. I think. Yeah, I'll be doing that to get me on there. Thank you very much for having me.
Great. And Dan, anything you want to plug? You're releasing a special piece by piece, aren't you?
That the big bit's out, but there's another thing about COVID coming out probably next week. So just jump on YouTube, Daniel Muggleton. You can find me there. Otherwise, probably follow me on Instagram rather than Twitter, because like Australia just doesn't do Twitter. So I don't really fuck with it. I just put up very like esoteric tweets. That's pretty much it on the old Twitter. So ignore that. Grab me on Instagram, but do check out the special when it comes out. And I do a weekly Zoom show with a guy called Steve Hofstetter as part of the Nowhere Comedy Club. So wherever you are in the world, It takes place once a week, every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Sydney time and 6 p.m. Mondays LA time. Because the Earth isn't flat, there are multiple time zones. Cool.
Yay. Cool, man. That's great. So definitely check both these guys out. We are going to go offline now, and we're going to record the extra episode. All the audio of this will be available on the Chris Betts Versus podcast feed. So subscribe to the Chris Betts Versus podcast. We've had tons of people on. We've had Alfie Brown was the other week, The Delightful Sausage, Laura Lex, Pierre Novelli, Ahir Shah, accused lawyer Ahir Shah. We've had tons of people. So definitely check that out. And on the Patreon, the extra episode that we're about to record will be available. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be back online in 2 hours talking shit with John Hastings until God knows when. We talked for 3 hours yesterday. So who knows? We've been comparing embarrassing old stand-up videos, and it's the most painful thing that I've been involved in a really long time. Thanks for watching, guys. Much obliged. Again, follow Dan and Tom. I will see you in 2 hours. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.